I remember at college we'd always talked about owning a studio, and you kind of don't think that you would do it because it seems like this thing that's so far out of reach.
You sort of grow up like idolising like musicians, and it kind of got to the point where actually the people I was looking up to were sort of producers and engineers, and that became like a sort of a big part of like my learning process, is looking at what other people were doing and like who makes the albums that I really like, and how have they done that, and how can I take part of what they do and turn it into my own thing.
The relationship between myself and Will was just natural and was there before the studio and the business. And it wasn't like we came into the company and went, right, I'm going to do this and you're going to do that. It's almost like we both sort of knew our own roles before we'd even started, because we knew what we were both good at. So like the production and the engineering side is, I'd say, is Will's side, but like the more like sort of business mind and how the studio is laid out is sort of is from me.
I felt like I was just the person in my circle of musician friends who kind of just knew the most about recording. So like I'd find myself just kind of doing stuff at my house, just kind of like at home, putting stuff together and just kind of doing it for fun. And that's kind of something I've always done since I was young. Just like I've always been interested in the technology and like how to make that work for the music and recording. And because we kind of started getting some usable results, people just started putting stuff out. And then it got to a place where there was actually a demand for people to come and record with me, and at that point it wasn't really sensible to do it at home when I needed a space. The ethos really is that we've created a high-end home studio in a space that's easy to get to, accessible to a lot of people, and we tried to make it a homely environment where people can come in and not feel like they're under a lot of pressure, especially on time and money, and also feel like it's not something where they're being kind of like judged or watched. It's just kind of like, it's a collective process, and because everything's in one room, there's no glass between me and the artist. It's kind of like one smooth process, and it's more about me becoming sort of an addition to the band rather than me kind of looking at a band and saying, how can I put my thing onto this?
The studio, it's always been a dream, and every day we're chasing the dream.